here ready to transmit. Pro fan hoops on the court, we got the game lit. Not talking highlight reels just for the common glance. We talking dedicated skills, taking every chance. From logo threes to rebounds, Chicago got the me-bounds. Asia got 3 chips, Las Vegas Aces in the town. You tune into the channel if you want to get the facts. Women's basketball is fire, no need to relax.
My bad. What's going on, y'all? Just wanted to get in here. Didn't feel like producing nothing today. Just wanted to stream live and post it up after a night of sleep and calmer heads prevailing. Going back and looking at what happened at the end of the South Carolina UConn beatdown. Let's call it that. Dawn Staley and South Carolina Gamecocks put belt to ass to the UConn Huskies. And UConn was a good team. South Carolina was just better. Now, I watched the whole game, and the behavior of Geno Auriemma not giving any type of explanation. I mean, and again, that's his right. He don't have to say nothing if he don't want to say nothing. But I think Dawn Staley put the onus on him when she said they asked her when they were in their presser, asked her what happened, and she said, you got to ask Geno, because he was the aggressor. He was the one that was disrespectful. And everything he said up to that point was a lie. Think about it. Everything he said, he was lying. He was bitching in the third, going into the fourth quarter. They do their little interviews after each quarter. And he was bitching about the refs, his girls not getting the calls. And he specifically talked about the play with Sarah Strong when he thought she was fouled and her jersey got ripped, when clearly they pulled receipts and they had very clear it was like a no contest video clip showing Sarah Strong ripping her own jersey out of frustration. What's up, Ian? Happy Saturday to you. So that was clearly on Sarah Strong. He didn't say anything else about that. But the big thing about it is Geno Auriemma has won how many championships? How many national championships? How many times has UConn been on the winning end of a suspect refereed or officiated game? How many times has he been on the other end of that, where he came out victorious and he got a nerve to crash out on Dawn Staley? So, but anyways, let's stick to the facts. That was the first lie. The Sarah Strong situation, that was the first lie. You can argue whether you didn't like the calls and all of that type of stuff. That's normal from every coach in every game across the country, men, women's, whatever. There's going to be a coach or a player that's going to bitch about the calls. That's part of it. So I'm okay with that. But when you talk and don't know the situation, and let's say and I believe him, he thought that there was a foul and the foul was what ripped her jersey. And I understand that. But when you find out that wasn't what happened and she admitted to her ripping her, you don't say nothing about it. Now let's go to the situation with Dawn Staley. Here's the second lie. Because Dawn Staley said that he mentioned something about not shaking hands in the line. Then, of course, they go to the tape pre-game. Dawn Staley embraces every coach, shook hands, embraced. He hugged a couple coaches. I can't remember if she actually hugged Geno, but she shook hands with him. They did the whole hand over the top and how you doing? Let's have a good game. All of that type of stuff. That's fine. She went through the line. It's just like at the end of the game when all of the players go through the line and say good game and high five. except this was all coaches. And there was 2 coaches, I believe, where Dawn Staley actually hugged. And let's not remember, when you're talking about premier college programs, they know each other. They've been in each other's company many times. Many times. If I'm not, I'd have to look. I was about to say, I think maybe Dawn Staley and Geno Auriemma did a commercial together at some point. I don't know. But in any case, they know each other, even though if they're not friends and all of that type of stuff, you've been around each other to know. Coaches know what's expected, what they're supposed to do, this, that, and the other. But they had footage of them going through the line, shaking hands. So I don't know what Geno Auriemma was talking about. Now, some people say that there was something else that they were supposed to do before the game. If that's the case, okay, maybe Dawn Staley forgot. Maybe Dawn Staley was busy with her team. Maybe Dawn Staley didn't think it was important. She already shook hands, and now she in go mode because we in the Final Four. Whatever the situation is, did not warrant that type of crash out at the end of the game after you got your ass kicked. And furthermore, if Geno and UConn would have won the game, that interaction would not have happened. So now you just in your feelings and you crashing out because she put the belt to the ass. And I don't blame her one bit when she said, I will kick Geno's ass. I will whoop Geno's ass. She said it twice. He picked the right one that day. Because you about to F around and find out what it's like up in North Philly. Not to be trifled with. And you wrong. One thing when you make a mistake, and one thing that'll piss people off quicker than anything else is when you lie on them. And Geno was lying on Dawn Staley. You can look at her face. I shook hands. You could very clearly, you ain't got to be a lip reader to figure that out. She said that very plainly. I shook your hand. I shook hands before that. So, but again, why are you worried about it now? Why are you worried about something that was supposed to happen before the game, after the game, and it had no bearing on the game? Stop it. Get out your feelings. Get out your feelings. Yeah, Ian, I'm with you too. I think she would have gave Geno a 2-piece. But yeah, he crashed out. Yep, you just missed me. Can you relate? I just talked about that. Everything Geno said was a lie. And the network provided receipts. The network, ESPN, provided video receipts. The broadcast crew, Andrea Carter, Chinny Agumake, and I forget what the ball lady's name is, but they played the video clip before the game. And Chinny even asked, she's like, is this pregame? And like, yep, this is pregame. So he busted on both counts. And again, even if it was something extra that they were supposed to do, whether Dawn Staley either missed it, forgot it, whatever, does not warrant for you to disrespect somebody and take away from her moment of winning the Final Four and going on to play for a national title. That it didn't warrant that. You worried about something that was supposed to happen pregame, and it didn't have no bearing on what went on during the game. Would that supposed meeting would have helped your team shoot better from 3? You was 6 for 21. You better worry about the real issues. So, big black eye for Geno, man. I'm 100%. I lost all respect for Geno Auriemma. I still like Sarah Strong. I still say Sarah Strong is the best player in the country. I still believe that. And again, I picked UConn to win the tournament. UConn was the winner in my bracket. But you know I'm still going to pull for the North Philly girl. She's from this area. How many times has she rocked Eagles gear and all of it? Like, come on now. She a Philly girl. So you know you got to ride with her. But I can only imagine if the situation had been reversed. And I'm just thinking about this. What about the other female coaches on his staff? How are they looking at this? How are they looking at this? It's like, why you gonna crash out and try to intimidate her? It's like, you got the wrong one today, bro. I don't know what you was thinking. And the more time passes, the more time passes, the worse it looks. Let me say it like that. The more people calm down and look at it with clear eyes and clear heads, not really emotional about it, and you just look at the situation the way it played out, it makes him look even worse. My wife was like, maybe he should be fired. And I was like, they ain't gonna fire Geno Auriemma. But man, bro, like you said, that's a big ass black eye, bro. That's a shiner for you right there. That's a shiner. What's up, Chris? I agree 100%. I think it's coming because what I saw last night was I saw a lot of UConn fans dragging Geno Auriemma and how out of pocket he was. UConn fans. So maybe it's coming. I don't know. It wouldn't take anything but a simple apology. Whether he calls Dawn personally, maybe he don't want to put it in the public eye. I don't know. But it's such a bad look on him, especially taking that ass whooping for the loss. And I hope South Carolina just mollywops UCLA, because UCLA is not a better team than South Carolina. That coach is not a better coach than Dawn Staley. I'm hoping South Carolina just mollywops them, because they was on a struggle bus last night against Texas. Did you see this? It was like 20-17 at halftime. It was ridiculous. And I still say the same thing. I like Lauren Betts. Lauren Betts played better this year than she did last year. But for some reason, at 6'7", it looks like Lauren Betts should be dominating. And I guess, in my opinion, Lauren Betts should be averaging more than 17 points a game. That's just me. She should be averaging more than 17 points a game. I could be wrong. Maybe I don't know. But I think Lauren Betts should be a better scorer than she is right now at 6'7". And she's quick. She ain't a big lumbering, like she's not like who can I, like Tierra McCowan or Camila Cardosa. She is quick for somebody her size. You know what's gonna happen, bro. You know what's gonna happen. Let me be honest with you. I would. That's not gonna change. Like, and this is where you got to separate things, because this is a personal moment for him, where he got to take personal accountability for what he's done. That doesn't change the fact that he's a damn good coach. Let's not get it twisted. He ain't just all of a sudden forget about how to coach. I think what happened was he forgot the feeling of what it's like to get your ass whooped on the court, and he didn't like it. That's what he forgot. He forgot everybody gets a turn. He forgot the law of averages says eventually they gonna get you. You gonna get got. Eventually it's gonna come back around. You won your title last year. Paige was all world and everything, and then you got with South Carolina earlier in the year, and you thought that train was just gonna keep going. But everybody gets better, and your schedule didn't. And I think it's just plain and simple. He forgot the feeling of somebody coming in and embarrassing him on the court. And he ain't like it. And he didn't know how to act. That's a personal issue. This has nothing to do with whether or not he's a good coach. I know people going to try to lump it all in together, but let's be real. Let me be honest with you. For me, this ties in very acutely to what we're dealing with this whole Jalen Hurts situation. All these pieces come out. Everybody, the hit piece. Jalen been the same since he got in the league. Jalen been the same attitude, work ethic. Everything for Jalen has been exactly the same since he got into college to up to this point. And now the narrative all of a sudden changes. He's difficult, uncoachable, this, that, and the other. You talking about this same dude? You talking about the same Geno Auriemma that has been undefeated multiple times, has coached some of the best college players in history. You coached Sue Bird. You coached Maya Moore. You coached Ella. I think Ella Del Don went to UConn. I'd have to double check that. Somebody check me in the chat. I believe Ella Del Don went to UConn. Nope, she went to Delaware. My bad. She played at UD. Oh, so she local. She went to Delaware. My bad. For some reason, I thought she was at UConn. So, but okay, substitute, take Ella Del Don off the table, and then you put in Diana Taurasi. You put in, did I already say Paige? You did. Like, you can just go to hell. AZ Fudd. You can go down the list. And by the way, when Paige Beckers won a national title, AZ Fudd was not the best player in that tournament. That was Sarah Strong as a true freshman. A true freshman. She should have got the award, not AZ Fudd. AZ Fudd was good, but she was not better than Sarah Strong, in my opinion. Yes, I agree. My point in bringing up Jalen Hurts is Geno Auriemma. The reason why everybody is looking at Geno Auriemma so crazy is because we've seen him for so long, and all of a sudden this is new. Like, why you Craig, you're the one that talk about poise and everything you expect from your girls and your players and all of that type of stuff. So you know how the sausage is made. We know what to expect from you. So this is new. In relation to Jalen Hurts been the same. So all of this, all of a sudden, problems in the locker room and problems and uncoachable. That's new. He hasn't changed. This is new. So that's the correlation I make with Jalen Hurts. A little bit different, but same game, different stadium. Brianna Stewart, Sue Bird, absolutely. I mentioned Bird. I forgot about Stewie. But just think about all of the all-time great players that Geno Auriemma has had. And I meant to do a list of like best college players in history, right? I saw that list the other day. Last week, I think it was. And the one thing that I would take into consideration is everybody talks about how many championships did you win, and you go back and you look at them UConn championships, and anybody in that list that would even be in the conversation of one of the best college players in history. Then you look at their championships, and you take that championship team, and you look at how many other All-American players were on that team. Because to me, that has to add a little bit of extra weight. That's the one thing that they always want to take Caitlin Clark down for, because she never won a title. But that's one of the things that I subtract points for and I add points for. If you won a national title and there was only maybe one another all-conference player on your team, as opposed to 3 All-American players, like you're talking about all-conference and then All-American, you got 2 different levels. So when you look at some of them UConn teams, they had 3 and 4 all-conference, All-American players on there. They're supposed to be dominating everybody, but it is what it is. So, what's up, Jackie? I appreciate that. Like, I know what it is. I'm I've been in these sports streets long enough. I know what it like. I know what it is, and I know the games that they play, and I try to be fair. Because that's as much respect as I lost for Geno Auriemma. If I had a niece, nephew, or somebody that could be around Geno Auriemma and learn basketball, you don't think I would take advantage of that situation, even after all of this? He hasn't forgotten how to coach. Neither has Dawn Staley. He forgot how to lose. He forgot how to be a graceful loser. There's lessons in loss. I said that when UConn beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame exposed their warts. And what you think? You think Dawn Staley didn't watch that tape? You think they didn't watch that tape? Yeah. Muffet McGraw was a little bit before me. Not, I'm sorry. He wasn't before me, but Muffet McGraw was before I was paying attention. I knew who Pat Summitt was. I knew Pat Summitt never liked him. Never liked him. So yeah. It's useless when you play it on a stacked roster. Again, why you think Jalen Hurts gets so much flack? Oh, anybody could have quarterbacked that team and won a Super Bowl. No, the hell they couldn't have. Like, stop playing. So, nah, not on that stage. I don't give a damn what you say, because human nature is going to come in, and I hate when people say that, because you can't put yourself in their skin. When you're talking about a hyper emotional moment and somebody does something or says something that's disrespectful to you, no, that's incorrect. So don't tell me what they supposed to do or what they should have done, because you wouldn't have done that in that situation, in that moment, and in that environment. Ain't no way you wouldn't have done that. You would have had some type of reaction. Not to mention, you have to mix in that individual's personality. Dawn Staley from North Philly, she don't play. She's always been like that. She's always been a spitfire. Go back and watch her play at Virginia. So no, that is incorrect, sir. You cannot put what you would do or what you want somebody to do in somebody else. Don't work that way. Don't work that way. When you are in a very emotional situation like that, and somebody comes out of pocket and does something that's totally unexpected. That's like walking down the street, going shopping with your wife, and out of the blue, some guy comes across the sidewalk and punches your wife in the jaw. You should have just ignored it. No, the hell you shouldn't have. You minding your business, you doing what you're supposed to do, you're doing what's expected of you in the environment that you are in, and somebody crosses the line. No, you are not just going to sit there and ignore it. Stop playing. Either you've never been involved in sports, or I don't know, because that don't work. When the news cycle is slow, hit the jet. Man, Jalen been in the news since they was asking him to play a different position, man. He'll never lead a team to the promised land. And we heard all of that stuff, but you still got to give somebody an opportunity to give a good opportunity. Look at what Shador's going through. People always say this when they don't want to speak to the character of the person that they favor. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I just said, I lost a lot of respect for Geno Auriemma. Does not mean he's not a good basketball coach. And you just can't do that. I can't put my personality and my experience on somebody else. That ain't fair. And I'm not going to do that. And I've been in situations where people try to do that. I used to have conversations with people, and I mentioned this before. Here's a great example for me, in my opinion. When I stopped playing football, when I stopped playing professional football, I had played a couple years with the Eagles. I played overseas. I played in Canada. I won a championship in NFL Europe. But once you stop playing, the number one question I would get from people was either, number one, why'd you stop playing? And number two, did you make a lot of money, and what did you do with your money? And then people want to go into try to tell me what they would do if they had this much money or that much money. And I try to tell people, I was like, you can't do that. You can't put your current situation, your current lifestyle, and automatically dump it in somebody that plays professional sports or somebody that makes $40,000 a week. Or you can't do that. It doesn't match. You can't take your $70,000 a year salary and automatically apply your lifestyle to somebody that makes $3.5 million a year. You can't do that, because you know what? You wouldn't be driving that same Honda Accord or that SUV. You would bump it up a little bit. Maybe your kids wouldn't be wearing the same clothes or going to that school. Maybe they would go to a private school. Maybe your house wouldn't be just a 3-bedroom. Maybe it would be a 5-bedroom with the pool in the back, sitting on 6 acres. I don't know. But what people try to do is put their current lifestyle onto somebody else, and they try to live what they're doing now on somebody else, and it does not work. It's unfair and it's unrealistic because people do different things in different environments in different situations. So I don't disagree with that. There are coaches who would walk away. There are coaches that will walk away. Dawn Staley just ain't one of them. And people love Dawn Staley because if you're going to walk away from that, you would walk away from other things. You would walk away from problems that she's having with her players. Dawn Staley has always been one to step up to the plate and help players. Dawn Staley was the one that was making sure some of players that were playing overseas got safe plane rides home when the war started over in Iran and Iraq. Somebody had to step up to do that. So her personality fits her. So stop putting what you would do with your personality on somebody else. That's not her personality. Who are you talking about specifically? Which coaches would have let Geno get away with it? And if they would, why would they let him get away with it? That's the problem. She didn't let him get away with it. And she let him know. That was his first fuck around and find out moment. You gotta live with who you are. If you're not a brawler, you're not gonna brawl. Why you think bullies always pick on people that don't fight back? And then every now and then they get somebody that's about that smoke and they don't know how to act. So I don't know if I don't know what he expected from Dawn Staley, but he got the right one. He got the right one that time because she ain't about that nonsense. And again, don't lie on me. I do enough shit on my own. You ain't got to lie on me. And that's what he was doing. And at the end of the day, it didn't matter. So you mean to tell me Dawn Staley was supposed to just take whatever he took, whatever he said, however disrespectful it was, or whatever was said? She's supposed to just sit there and just, no big deal. Maybe you would have. Dawn Staley has crashed out many times. Absolutely. But she's also won championships and she ain't never disrespected nobody else. Not like that. When she got her ass whooped last year, you know what she did? She went into the line, she shook hands with everybody, and then in the press conference, she expressed her frustrations and everything, because to me, that's in the environment, that's in the realm of what they do. You don't like the calls, you didn't like the calls against your team, you can say that. But what you're not supposed to do is she didn't come out and disrespect Geno. So I don't know what coaches you watching that don't crash out, don't get pissed off, don't cuss folks out, don't get mad at the refs. I don't know what coaches you watching. They ain't good ones. So, and there you go. There you go. You just made my point for me. Dawn has crashed out many times and apologized. It ain't about being right or wrong. Everybody's going to have some bad days. Geno had a bad day. The problem we got with Geno right now is he is taking zero accountability. He lied twice. Zero accountability. So don't stand 10 toes down for Geno. He lied twice. Nothing happened to Sarah Strong. She ripped her own jersey. He lied. Dawn Staley didn't skip the handshakes in the beginning pregame. He lied. He got to take accountability, period. Exactly. Sometimes when you get in a situation like that, it takes a second for you to process. You're like, the fuck did he just say? Who he talking to? Then that comes out. And again, you look at the post-game press conference. What did Dawn Staley say? Can you tell us about the conversation between you and Geno? You have to ask him. I don't know what he was mad about. You have to ask him. I agree. I've seen Dawn Staley be very, very animated on the sidelines. And heck, last year when she lost the game, she was livid on the sideline. She was cussing at the air, cussing some of her players, this, that, and the other, which is what coaches are supposed to do. But to your point, when the game was over, and she went down the line to shake hands and do what she was supposed to do, she went down the line, she shook hands, good game, congratulations, and kept it moving. She ain't crash out on somebody else. She ain't disrespect other coaches. So she was frustrated. She said in the press conference, she made a mistake. It was just a mistake. I don't know if she was just, you know how you get mad and just like, oh, and maybe she didn't realize she was grabbing the neck hem, and just ripped it. And maybe she didn't expect it to rim. Maybe she just, I don't know what she expected. But she admitted she made the mistake. She said that in the press conference. Geno was standing right there. Geno was standing right there. So yeah. So I don't know. But in my opinion, it just looks worse after the fact. Because now you got video evidence that's saying, like, nah, she did shake your hand. Nah. It wasn't the ref. She didn't get fouled. She ripped her own jersey. That's like, so I'm waiting for him to come back and issue some type of apology or something like that. Do something. Take some type of accountability for it. Because that's what you would expect from your players. That's the real crime. He went through that whole nice soliloquy about how the NCAA is screwing with the schedules and who thinks about when they do this. And he was quick to hop on that soapbox. But now when it comes to just doing what's right, dude, everybody have a bad one. Everybody get a turn. All you got to do is say, my apologies to Dawn Staley. Didn't mean to take. We've seen it a million times. You can come up with a statement. You got people at your school that'll do that for you. So guess what? It ain't that much. But here is your stereotype. Stereotypical Italian, prideful, don't want to admit when they wrong, and don't want to take accountability for your mistakes. So listen, Dawn Staley they got her on camera after the game, after that situation that went down, and she said, I will beat Geno's ass. It is very clear what she said, and she wasn't playing. The question is, what gets you to that point? What happened that was so bad that you had to disrespect Dawn Staley after the game was over? What could have possibly happened that was so bad? Did she cuss out your wife, or the answer is nothing. So if it was that bad, that's when you tell the NCAA, or you have a personal conversation after the game, you hash it out. But no, he was crashing out. And again, if UConn wins this game, this does not happen. This does not happen. This was already Kev, this was already a primetime matchup. But you're right, it's going to be even bigger, and everybody's going to pull this tape. Everybody's going to pull this tape. So now there's going to be 8 million cameras the next time they meet in the handshake line. And there's going to be even more cameras pregame in the handshake line. So, it is what it is. And again, I hope South Carolina mollywops UCLA. UCLA is not a better team than South Carolina. Not even close. a GOAT McKeer will be able to handle Lauren Betts. Lauren Betts plays very well down low. She knows how to position herself and play in the paint like a true big. I just don't think she dominates at that position. But it'll be a good game. But a GOAT McKeer can pop a three-pointer. Lauren Betts can't. I've never seen Lauren Betts hit a three-point shot. Am I wrong? I don't think so. Yeah, she does not shoot threes. She is 0% at three. So no, she does not shoot three-point shots. Her field goal percentage is just below 60%. She's shooting 58.2. Everything she does is in the paint. And a GOAT McKeer can guard her in the paint. A GOAT McKeer is quick enough. I don't know if she's strong enough, but strength punishes, speed kills. So you can make up some of that disadvantage if you are quicker than your opponent when you're relatively the same size. So that'll be a good matchup. So we'll see what they do. So yeah, okay, yeah, that's another one. So that'll be a good matchup. But I think South Carolina has got the edge on this one. So, but we'll see. That's why they play the game. That's why they play the game. So, all right, I'm done talking about Geno. I got some yard work I got to do. But yeah, I couldn't have shot this, and I wasn't trying to edit. So, but I appreciate everybody in the chat. Do me a favor, make sure you click on that like button, hit that little thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to Pro Fan Hoops and Pro Fan Talk. So when there's big events like this, I broadcast on both channels, Pro Fan Hoops and Pro Fan Talk, because I think this story is that big. So, yeah, I'll be back Sunday to watch the title game. So we'll be doing it again. So enjoy your weekend, enjoy your Easter. He is risen. God bless you, and I'll catch you on the next one. Okad is similar in heights to Betts, but Okad is much stronger. Yes, but Okad is not as quick. Okad is not as quick as Lauren Betts. So again, that'll be a good matchup. That'll be a good matchup because Lauren Betts, she plays in my opinion, her footwork was a lot better this year than it was last year. And she plays down low like a true big. She's trying to back you to the basket, and she's going to hit a turnaround jumper. Now, that little mid-range in the paint, that little jump shot she can do is beautiful, as opposed to, like, you look at somebody like, look at the game last night and Joyce Edwards. Joyce Edwards was backing folks down in the paint, but she had that, like, ugly semi-hook shot that wasn't falling. Now, I would imagine sometime during the season it was falling, and she had some good games, but last night it was not falling. And I was like, pull up. Why can't she just turn around and hit like a little 8-foot jumper? That's what Lauren Betts does. And there's not going to be too many that's going to be able to get in her face and block that shot. So if Lauren Betts decides to do that and can pull up and hits that jumper, that might be problematic. But again, we'll see. We'll see. So, but I'm excited. I can't wait for the game. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game. But I'm expecting South Carolina to mollywop UCLA. And if they don't, if UCLA wins this game, you know what people going to do? And you have every right to do? Pull this tape and say, Coach, you was wrong. You was 100% wrong. And I'm all for it. I ain't got no problem being wrong. I ain't got no problem being wrong. You can call me. Y'all know how I do. If you on my squad, you've been rocking with me for a while, you already know. If I make a mistake, call me on the carpet. It's all good. I don't know everything. I ain't got no problem with that. So, but all right, let me get up out of here. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your Easter. And I will talk to y'all Sunday night during the national championship game. I will probably do another live stream after the game, because doing the live during the game, it's kind of distracting. But after the game, we'll probably go live again. So do me a favor, come join. Make sure you like, subscribe, both channels, all that kind of stuff. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Enjoy your holiday. Peace.